Good morning. I think this is the fourth video this morning. I'll try to use a little restraint in how many I do today. Challenge is to make sure that whatever number of videos that happens to be, that they are foundationally correct. And it is with great sadness that I sit and I watch the news. People say, well, don't watch it. I remember the video that I did called Justice. I was 11 years old. My friend Helen, who killed her husband because her husband was allowing people, delivery men of milk and bread, to use her 11-year-old daughter sexually while the dad stood and watched. Helen didn't know anything about it. When Helen found out, she killed her husband. Should have. It was the right thing to do. We are watching an abuser, several abusers. It's unfortunate. We're watching Putin. We're watching Xi Jinping. We are watching Iran. And we are watching Biden and the Democratic Party in the States. And we are being presented with, on news, the horrors of war. We who have grown up watching TV have a hard time differentiating between what is vain imagining in terms of a movie. Well, I have a lot of favorite movies. Man on Fire, Denzel Washington. Oh my. Don't know how many times I watched that. But we are watching stuff happening today that we know in our heart is true, what is going on in the Ukraine. But we have been so desensitized that we think of it as merely, this is TV. Next week, we'll see these same actors in another show. It's not that. It's not happening. Olena Ganez, her 3 children, her husband, who's out on the streets fighting for the right to live. We see Putin demonstrating what he perceives to be his rights, and that is to kill, rob, steal, destroy, say, in Satan. In Scripture, it delineates very clearly that what Satan wants is to rob, steal, and destroy. Putin's doing the fulfillment of Satan's work. We have pretenders who say, they really want to help Ukraine. Too little, too late. 9 months ago, might have helped more than it is now, but even in helping now, it's better than not. And we hear about the jets over the MiG fighters jets in Poland. And Poland is saying to the United States of America, guarantee us that you will replace our MiG jets and we will give them to Ukrainian pilots. And the U.S. is trying to do something that's very important to the Democratic Party and their ability to get reelected, even in spite of the fact that women and children are being killed, women are being raped and then killed. And Putin, if he does what he's always done, he will end up with executions in the town squares, and he will line people up and he'll kill them. in order to scare, intimidate, as an abuser does, the rest of the people who he demands they become subservient to him. The pretenders are those in the Democratic Party, Biden, who say, we want to help. That's just a lie. You want to pretend to help. You want to let on that you're the benevolent who care. You don't give a rat's ass about anyone except yourselves. Oh, Joe Manchin and the little Sienna girl in the Democratic Party in the States, they're good people. But when you hear a politician say one thing one day and the next day the wind is blowing in a different direction and they take an about face, Nancy Pelosi, yes, she is now in favor of cutting off purchasing of all Putin's oil. And she can say that because the wind still blows. She says she's not in favor of opening up any new drilling in the United States of America because Biden is doing everything in his power to give Iran everything that they choose to want, that being nuclear armament. And he's doing it. And he is pretending like he cares about the Ukraine. He is not going to help the Ukraine in a manner that would indicate to Putin that Biden is not dragging his buns, because Putin will get choked. Putin will press the button. He will use nuclear power. He'll use anything in his armament to rob, steal, and destroy, to fulfill his father's, that's Satan's, ambition on earth. Biden could just say to the Polish government, you give as many MiG fighters to as many Ukrainian Air Force people as possible. We will replace them, and in the meantime, we will send a great number of our fighters over with our new planes, and we will protect you until we can replace your MiG fighters with something that's much better. And we'll turn the Ukrainian people who are fighting for their very lives. And Biden doesn't give a rat's ass about any of them. He's not going to really help the Ukraine until he gets his way with Iran. In Iran, they have made to be, a scripture says, call no man a fool. Okay, let's say the Iranian government has done everything in their power, and it didn't take much effort to make Obama look foolish. Okay, to make end weak. And in his weakness, Joe Biden walks therein. The Democratic Party walk in that too. And those who suffer are not the Democratic Party. No. I believe it will be the people of the United States of America who will suffer. Oh, not as much initially as the Ukrainian people are, but they and we in Canada, we're going to suffer because Putin's not going to stop, because he doesn't need to, because Trump's not in power, and Biden, he stands for nothing and thus falls for everything. So Biden is holding off helping the Ukraine because he doesn't want to irritate Putin. And Putin's representatives are sitting at the very table with Iran and the U.S. trying to formulate a peace agreement, which Iran will never follow, but will look like a fine talking point for Biden. The Ukrainian people, they have fine talking points, but they aren't false. They're real. Women and children are dying in the streets while Biden waits for Putin to let the Iranian people sign an agreement that they will never follow through with. But it's just as stupid as Biden going to Xi Jinping, asking him to give counsel to Putin to hold off on his intended takeover of the Ukraine. And Xi Jinping, just unbelievable what Biden and the Democrats have done. Unbelievable. Well, Xi Jinping, because he is Putin's mentor, he just told Putin everything that Biden said. All the intel. And so Putin does what Putin does because that's what he is. That's what he's done time and time again. And Biden, he is what he is too because this is what he has done. Nothing. In all the years of his politicking, he has just done nothing. Nothing. Okay. Biden could give Poland the go-ahead to give jet fighters to the Ukrainian Air Force. He's not going to do it until he has to. Until people around the world are getting to know what really Biden's game plan and the Democratic Party, what is their game plan? Justin Trudeau up here, Biden down there, the Democratic Party, probably in great part the Liberal Party up here, Xi Jinping, the Iranians, Putin. All they care about is their expansion. Their expansion. Of Soviet Russia, with the blood of innocent Ukrainian people covering the streets of the Ukraine. Canada, United States, you think we're that far removed from that? You're wrong. Putin, Xi Jinping, the Democratic Party in the States, Justin Trudeau up here, a lot of liberals up here, unfortunately some conservatives in the States. They want Putin to win. And if they didn't, they'd be helping more. And their help would be timely, not delayed. It's a fact. I believe it's a fact. I could be wrong. I don't think so. I think in your heart, you don't think so.